Good morning. Welcome to a Wednesday. It is Tony Kurre here at Tony Kurre Radio. A couple things I want to get into this morning briefly with you. We have, of course, Wednesdays here on Tony Kurre Radio are huge because we do Live Wire Wednesday. It's our most listened to show. Internationally speaking, we have like 48,000 people that listen in Sydney, Australia every Wednesday night for Live Wire Wednesday because that's where the official AC/DC fan club is. And then, of course, we have another 70,000 that listen here in the United States. Brought to you by Southern Precision Staffing for all your staffing needs, construction or otherwise. 205-682-2828, 205-682-2828. Sam Rushing, good morning to you, man. I'm praying for your surgery tomorrow morning. And we also have Mission Minded, a great show I do with a good friend of mine, Michael Coleman, who is just a master and expert in non-for-profits. He's fantastic. He's going to be joining us on the show at, a little later on today at noon and 7, and then we do Live Wire Wednesday at 8. Get a little confused because we have 10 or 11 different shows. I'm meeting with Kip Kiefer today. He's going to be doing 2 new shows here on Tony Kurre Radio. They're going to be fantastic. One's called Need to Know. Another Wanna Bet show as we get ready for college football season right around the corner. Go to Spotify, search Tony Kurre Radio. That's Kurre with a K. Tony Kurre Radio on Spotify. It's free. You don't have to subscribe, whatever. You can like the page. But there's well over 100 different podcasts that we have on our Spotify podcast platform. It's fantastic, Tony Kurre Radio. So a couple other things I want to get into. Meryl Streep turned 73 today. Cyndi Lauper turned 69 today. Chris Christopherson, love him. Thought he was dead, but he's 86. Wrote Me and Bobby McGee, Did a Star Is Born. Dustin Johnson is 38. And Todd Rundgren, who I actually saw down at Workplay several years ago. One of the best shows I ever saw. It was great. He got up there and he said, for all you people here that expected to hear all that wussy rock that I play, like Hello, It's Me and stuff, he said, you ain't getting it tonight. And then he went into this just rousing rendition of Lunatic Fringe from Red Rider. It was fantastic. He was great. He turned 74 today. So happy birthday to Todd Rundgren. I was on the Jay Barker Radio Network, Jay, obviously one of my old radio roommates, if you will, and we did the opening drive on Jocks for like 13, 14 years. And I was on a show yesterday, and we were talking about some of our favorite dives. And I was bringing up Derby Junction, Jitterbugs, Louie Louie. I did stuff at Dave's, Rue Burroughs, Hoppers, the Upside Down Plaza, Frostbite, Singles, Hoppers, H.L. Franklin's. And I brought up H.L. Franklin's because right now at H.L. Franklin's is a place called Bar 31. I don't know if you've ever been to Bar 31. If you go in there, you'll probably feel like the youngest person in the joint. But they're closing. Is it the 26th, 25th, 26th? Anyway, the Bar 31 is closed. I don't know how long that place has been open, but I know a lot of people are not happy about that. And so we were talking about some of our favorite bars closing. And then there's another place, and Blues Almighty's Austin Hanks actually did 2 weeks of shows on this place. But happy birthday to the Nick. I want to thank Dr. Josh Claypo for bringing this to my attention. The Nick turns 40 years old today. You want to talk about Birmingham's dirty little secret? What a great dive. That place is known around the world. And we have it right here in Birmingham. If you've never been, it's like a bucket list. If you've never been to the Nick, you got to go to the Nick just one time. Yeah, you should go more than one time. But go to the Nick, and I promise you, man, it's an experience like you'll never have before. And they turned 40 years old today, so happy birthday to the Nick. Pretty cool stuff. Again, don't forget to download the Tony Kurre Radio app. Go check out all of our great podcasts on Tony Kurre Radio. You can also hear, of course, a lot of commercials, not a lot of commercials on Tony Kurre Radio, but a lot of our great sponsors, including, of course, Workplay and Workplay.com. They've got Sweet Tea Trio playing this Saturday night. So we're very community-oriented, although we have an international footprint, so we're all over the place. There's one final story that I wanted to bring up that's kind of funny. As you get a little older, you start learning different things, and of course, over the last 20 years, our dating patterns have changed. There's now this app for people over 50, which I think is kind of funny. I haven't gotten back out and started doing the dating scene yet. I'm just, when it happens, ain't no big deal. But I have seen some different things, and as you get a little older, you realize the people that are around your age are starting to do some kind of crazy things. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I was invited to a car key party. You know what a car key party is? I never knew. It's basically when you show up like 10 guys, 10 girls, 5 guys, 5 girls, whatever, and you put your car keys in a basket, and then you have a good time, get to know everybody in the room, and then at the end of the night, you grab car keys out of the basket, and whoever's car keys you get, you go home with. I didn't go to the party. I thought it was a little weird. But I mean, there was a lot of people interested in doing this car key party. Like, oh yeah, car key parties. You've heard about car key parties. So it's weird when you get a little older and all of a sudden people are like, you didn't know about that? And I'm like, no. So I saw this interesting article this morning about how to figure out if your neighbors are swingers. Now, back in my 20s and 30s, when I was hitting all these bars, the Nick and Derby Junction and Jitterbugs and all these things, you'd run into that stuff all the time because you're in your 20s and 30s. There'd be young couples out there, and they want to, and and it really wasn't my bag. It wasn't something I ever wanted to do. I have a hard enough time with one woman, let alone a woman with a dude, another woman. I can't do it. I can't. My mind would blow up, and something else too. And so I saw this interesting video in this article about how you can tell now if your neighbors. And it's funny because, I know all my neighbors in my neighborhood. I know everybody within about 4 or 5 doors, both directions. And if I don't, I usually make sure that I get a chance to go shake their hand. And I've even talked about having maybe like a neighborhood gathering, just so I could get to know some people that I don't know, or maybe live a couple of streets over. Because when you have good neighbors and good neighborhoods, you get along and stress is down, crime is down, people look after each other. I got my neighbors across the street, they go to the Carolinas and I watch their house and I feed their dogs and I feed their gerbils and do all that. So, but you never know. Every neighbor's got some skeletons in the closet, including, of course, my house here. And so you never know when you're maybe living next to someone who gets into some interesting and devious and perverted type of ways. So this woman wrote this article and did this video about 3 ways you can find out if your neighbors are swingers. And after I read this article, I was like, holy crap, because I think there's like 3 or 4 people in my neighborhood that do this. First of all, if your neighbor puts pink flamingos in their front yard as lawn ornaments, they may be a swinger. I never knew. Did you? I mean, we used to do that back in the 70s and 80s, and you leave them out there for a little bit. But if they've constantly got pink flamingos out in their front yard, they're tipping you off that perhaps they have a different type of lifestyle. The other thing is, and if you go to TikTok and go to the upside down pineapple, it's got like 115 million followers. If your neighbors like pineapples, but they're upside down, then they're probably swingers. Now, I don't know. Obviously don't walk in the kitchen and see 16 pineapples upside down. But I don't know if you use it as emoji or use it as something that you tag your post with or whatever. But an upside down pineapple evidently dictates whether you are in the swinging lifestyle or not. I never knew. The other thing is, and I got it right in my front yard, and I've gotten neighbors that moved in about 7, 8 years ago, but the neighbors before them I thought were just a little different. But pampas grass, you know what pampas grass is? It's that long grass. It's got the frilly stuff on top. It's almost like a feathery kind of fern-looking thing. It's a real tall plant. You've seen it before, but just pull up pampas grass. If your neighbor's got pampas grass, they're swingers. And that would kind of make sense because I think the last couple that lived next door to me, who I loved, by the way, and I never did anything with, were just a little off. Just a little. I loved them. Actually, the woman next door, she saved my house one time. My house was burning down. She woke me up and got us out, so she saved my life. So she may have been a swinger, but she was swinging good that night. So pampas grass, flamingos, and upside down pineapples. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave your remarks here on Facebook Live or on Facebook and let me know if you've got pineapples, if you've got upside down pineapples, flamingos, or pampas grass, and if that means you're a swinger. And if you're a swinger, I'd love to hear from you, and I'll talk about you tomorrow. Give me some other things that perhaps swingers do to let people know in their neighborhood that they'll go both ways. I don't know. By the way, a swinger, just so we know, is a person that obviously couples swing together. And this particular woman who wrote this article, she said it beats the hell out of cheating on your partner as long as they're open to the idea of swinging. I've never been a real swinger. I'm kind of a one-girl guy. So anyway. All right, so check out the Tony Kurre Radio app. Again, go to TKR on Android or Apple, and you can pull up our radio station. We're fixing to go back. We're live every single morning, but I'm going to start doing Tony Kurre Live on the radio station again starting next week. We also have our Detonation station going on July 4th. We're going to be playing a brand new bed. We've been doing it for like 3 years. We're the soundtrack to any of your fireworks shows. I can't mention Thunder on the Mountain because we don't endorse them and we're not tied to them anywhere, so I'm not allowed to say Thunder on the Mountain. But if you're down in Southside watching the fireworks, the big fireworks show, or maybe you're at the Met or wherever you're seeing fireworks, maybe you're doing something in your backyard, if you go to one of these great fireworks places, they're unbelievable. They sell the big shells now. If you want to do that, you can do that and listen to Tony Kurre Radio. And we have a great soundtrack that you can play to your fireworks show coming up on July 4th. We're the Detonation station on Tony Kurre Radio. Make sure you tune us in, get the app, and you'll be good to go right here on Tony Kurre Radio. Blues Almighty, by the way, also Austin Hanks, who I mentioned a few minutes ago about the Nick. He's got a brand new show going out tomorrow. And Damon Johnson, I reached out last week, getting ready for his Brother Kane thing. He's still doing the Leonard Skinner thing. He'll join us on Friday here on Tony Kurre Radio. So you get the Tony Kurre Radio station. And, of course, any other show you want to listen to on demand, do it through Spotify and check it out. I hope you have a great, blessed day. We'll catch up with you again tomorrow. Make sure you listen to Live Wire Wednesday later on tonight, 8 o'clock. It is the Back in Black album, track by track, Back in Black. We're celebrating the 42nd release, 42nd year release of Back in Black from AC/DC. We'll do that at 8 o'clock tonight. And also Mission Minded plays a couple times today as well right here on Tony Kurre Radio. Have a great day.